Mario has been one of the biggest franchises over all of gaming. I know, I'm cool. That's why I own too many copies of this game.
Of course, you could play this game on the Atari 2600, but I think the world would like to forget that it was ever on the Atari.
What the?
The very first one they'd ever made if you ignore the other consoles from before this.
All they do is play Pong!
Legend goes that the peak of these horrendous games was a tie-in game for the movie E.T. This game was rushed, and nobody liked it at all. Copies were destroyed and buried just so no one would ever have to play this game, and video games seemed like a completely dead genre at home. Of course, the arcade was still a thriving business, but at home, consoles could never build up to the hype of what we had at the arcade. Back in Japan, Nintendo were trying to figure out a way to release their Famicom worldwide. But with this video game crash in the US, Nintendo knew they had to change something, so they waited 2 years and made it look like a VHS player. Mario has that classic red and brown design, the sky is blue, everything is normal, everything is great.
Wait, Mario's red and brown? Last time I checked, isn't his overalls blue?
Super Mario All-Stars also has some weird design choices throughout the game. In each level, there's a bonus section, just like there is in the original, but for some reason in this version, Mario's massive head is just sitting in the background like he's the one above all. But no matter, this was technically the best way to play the original game, but the game is still as basic as ever. However, 1-3 is where things get more challenging.
There's a sky now?
The castle introduces lava, fire bars, and the big bad Bowser. Or I guess this isn't Bowser. See, a glitch in this game had Bowser from every world except for 8 dying as an enemy found throughout the game. So Nintendo eventually confirmed that this wasn't Bowser and was instead a clone.
Early Mario had a lot of weird things like this, like Bowser's brother in Super Mario Bros. 2, his overalls, Luigi.
The castle is pretty much the same as the previous castle, with a few more platforming challenges, making for an overall more difficult castle than before. But it's pretty much the same thing we're all used to. Dodge lava, run to the end, fight
Bowser,
and save another Toad. Pretty simple game. World 3 introduces us to a different time of day, night, as well as introducing snow. Let me just try World 7-2 then.
Wait, that's just 2-2 again!
World 7-2 is exactly the same as 2-2, with no differences at all. Funnily enough, this level is repeated again in the minus world. So let's see what this one is.
Wait, that's just 2...
Yep, that's right. 7-3 is just the same as 2-3. I have no idea why there are so many repeating levels. I couldn't find an answer. Just people disappointed. Why don't we take this time out to try Super Mario All-Stars on the Wii? See, on Mario's 25th anniversary, Nintendo released Super Mario All-Stars, a compilation of Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. 2, and Super Mario Bros. 3. What a collection. Let's have a look at the brand new Wii versions of these games.
Wait, that's just Super Mario All-Stars again! I don't know if you can tell, but I'm pissed.
Super Mario Bros. Was released in many places, such as the NES, the Famicom Disk System, the Versus Arcade Machine, the Game & Watch, although technically that's just a different game with the same title, the Nintendo Play Choice 10 arcade machines, the Famicom Disk System again is All Night Nippon Super Mario Bros., many compilation cartridges on the NES, the SNES but with the Super Mario World, the Teleview, the Game Boy Color, and Animal Crossing in Japan but only was available as a competition prize and was completely unused in the worldwide release but then was removed from the upgrade to the Japanese version of Animal Crossing, but also is in the original version of the game on Nintendo 64, on the Game Boy Advance, on the Wii Virtual Console, in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, on the Wii again, on the Wii Virtual Console again, but the question mark block is replaced with the number 25 on the block, on the 3DS Virtual Console, on the Wii U Virtual Console, in NES Remix, as Super Luigi Bros. In NES Remix 2, in Ultimate NES Remix as Speed Mario Bros., in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, in Amiibo Tap, on the NES Classic and the Famicom Classic, on Switch Online, as Super Mario Bros. 35, which no longer exists, and on the new Game & Watch.
Can you tell I like this game?
But let's see what the second level has to bring.
Holy sh**.
World 2-2 introduces water to Super Mario Bros. With all new enemies, new gimmicks, everything. Having calming music, random fish, bubbles that push you. Everything is here to set up the future of platforming video games forever. What a revolutionary video game this is. That's why they made a PC port.
Hi, I'm Charlie and back and I've played the Forbidden Mario game.
Now of course, because the game is on PC, it looks like this.
What the was that?
You'll also notice that the colours are different.
No!
But the level being an introduction to Super Mario Bros. Pretty much stays the same throughout the level, and that repeating nature repeats throughout World 1 of Super Mario Bros. Special itself. Each level is really just a new interpretation of the original World 1 levels. One unique thing about World 1 too is that the entire level isn't just underground. Instead, it has both an underground section and an overworld section, with the underground just being the main focus of the level. World 2-3 is overworld but on a bridge, and World 2-4 is obviously a castle.
No way!
At the end of the castle, you of course fight
Bowser
and continue on your merry way. World 3 is where things get wacky. The first level is actually an underwater level, very similar to World 2 too, but this time it also combines the idea of World 2-3 with the bridges with fish jumping out of the water. It's quite a unique level that is completely different to what you would see in the base game. Here you can find a little pathway set up for a 1-up so it can get to you. Well, it was fun to try. World 4-2 introduces multiple elements from the arcade game Mario Bros, being ice that can fall down and kill you, and the crabs. They work the same way as they do in the arcade games, just making it so you can't jump on the crabs, but they're pretty fun additions to the game. There wasn't much past Mario games to take things from, so the fact that they took it from Mario Bros is actually really cool. World 4-3 does more with the mushroom platforms, and World 4-4 is your standard run-of-the-mill castle. Not much to add here.
So I wonder if there's a special version of me. That's better.
This is fine. This is kind of just like the real Lost levels, and what should have been Super Mario Bros. 2, instead of the two other versions that we got.
Hi, I'm Charlie, I'm back, and I'm annoyed. I recently was looking at my December calendar, and it says today I have to talk about Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. I hate Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. I always have. Why would Nintendo make this awful thing? Why would Nintendo do this to me?
Super Mario Bros. 2, otherwise known as Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, is the only Japanese exclusive mainline Mario game because Americans found it too hard. But games like The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, and more took advantage of the sound it could produce, as both of these games originally released on the Famicom Disk System before being ported to real cartridges. However, Super Mario Bros. 2 wasn't so lucky. Super Mario Bros. Was stuck in the Famicom Disk System, and the game never came out outside of Japan. When the game was sent over to America, the tester at the time thought the game was way too hard to release, and he couldn't believe that Japan would ever make this game. It's just way too hard. But by this time, Japan was already working on Super Mario Bros. 3, so Nintendo of America needed a Super Mario Bros. 2.
You can't just release Super Mario Bros. 3 without Super Mario Bros. 2. What is this, Final Fantasy?
Making both of them seem as if they're just two parts of one whole game.
And that's what it feels like. This isn't Super Mario Bros. 2. This is Super Mario Bros. 1.5. But there was already two other Super Mario Bros. 1.5s, being the Versus arcade machines and Super Mario Bros. Special. There wasn't any need for this to be its own thing. I would have understood it if it was an expansion to the original game. But it isn't. It calls itself the sequel to this. What the hell is this?
Even the bosses are the same. Where you fight
Bowser
and hit the axe on the other side, everything is just the same thing, with more and more ridiculous jumps and tricks that you would never figure out without googling it, which obviously wasn't a thing when this game came out. See, in World 5-1 there's a section of the level where you need to create an invisible block. However, it's difficult to gain enough momentum to jump on top of the block, as you can't make the screen go back after you go forward, making it insanely easy to get soft-locked and needing the Nintendo Switch Rewind feature. Which finally brings you to World 8, the one we've all been waiting for, the finale of the game.
Right?
World 8 is the worst collection of Mario levels I have ever witnessed. The amount of utterly ridiculous platforming, timing, RNG, and more just makes this world one of the worst things I have ever played. How are you meant to figure out you need to jump on this paratrooper to jump over this huge gap? The Hammer Bros, my god, you thought you hated them before? In this game, they just feel so much more jumpy and they are everywhere. World 8 2 brings back the wonderful autumn levels from Super Mario Bros. Special and just makes a harder version of World 8 3 from the original game. It even gets worse when you find out that this level is a puzzle level and the only real ending is to jump on a brick that reveals a find that no one would ever find. It took me so long to figure out what to do in this level, it just seems like an endless puzzle. How would any person be able to figure out what the hell to do in this level without looking it up?
And look, I understand wanting to make a challenging game. We all want a game to, be hard and give us a challenge. But when it's stupidly hard compared to the other Mario games you've made, you start to question, what the hell is this game?
It took me so many tries to figure out what to do, and I just never want to experience this hell ever again. It's the worst pain in the butt I've ever felt.
And it currently hurts to sit!
So this level must be awful. This level gives you no time to complete it, with me having under 20 seconds to beat the entire final room of the stage. You also have to deal with 2 Bowsers. No, one of them isn't one of those
Bowsers?
Is instead Bowser's brother.
Don't ask.
But when you finally beat the real Bowser, you're brought to a door, which leads to Peach, where they stuff up how the sprites look, because the black in the sprites is actually the background and not the sprites itself, so when they change the background to blue, it actually stuffs everything up. You'd think that's the end of the game. You really would. Well, let me warn you, it's only just the beginning. After completing World 8, you're brought to World 9.
No!
But only having 9 worlds of 4 levels, that isn't so bad. Oh god.
There's 4 more worlds?
That's right. After you complete the entire game 8 times in a row without using warp zones, you unlock worlds A, B, C, and D. That's right. 8 times. You have to play this awful game 8 times to unlock the bonus worlds. And what are the bonus worlds? They're just harder versions of other levels alongside some original levels that are just as hard. World D makes this whole Bowser thing even more confusing, with Bowser's brother returning, only to be a fake
Bowser's brother,
followed by another
Bowser
at the end of the level. But that's different again when you play the Super Mario All-Stars version, where the 2 of them were replaced by the original versions of the 2. Why is it different? I don't know. Nintendo just wanted to be funny. How could you do this, Nintendo? What the hell are you thinking? What the hell is this game?
But at least it's an actual Mario game. Unlike this, sucker! Hi, I'm Charlie, I'm back, and my calendar just says the number 2. I don't know what that means. Unless that means I have to talk about... Oh god.
However, Super Mario Bros. 2 still hadn't come out in the US. Instead, they were looking through the archives of Nintendo to see if they could possibly take a game that already exists, replace the characters with Mario characters, and have Super Mario Bros. 2. In 1987, Nintendo was currently in a deal with Fuji Television, a huge Japanese television company known for creating some of Japan's top TV shows, alongside being the biggest news networks in Japan. Characters from the event to create a game known as Yumi Kojo Doki Doki Panic, otherwise known as Dream Factory Heart Pounding Panic. It was released on the Famicom Disk System, and although it had a few Mario elements in it, like the power block from the arcade game Mario Bros, the game was its own game with a whole new way of killing enemies. Instead of killing enemies by jumping on them, you had to pick up a plant from the ground and throw it at enemies. This game, however, was actually originally a Mario game all along, as the game began development as a prototype Super Mario platforming game, which was shown as a different way to do the Mario style of platforming. It wasn't until Fuji Television wanted to team up with Nintendo again that they turned the game into Doki Doki Panic. While Nintendo of America were looking for a new version of Super Mario Bros. 2, they saw this game and took it as the new Super Mario Bros. 2. So how is the game?
I hate it.
The Shy Guy. Yes, Shy Guys actually originated in this game, which means they originated in Doki Doki Panic, not a Mario game.
Shy Guy is just a foster child.
Toad can run fast. That's his gimmick. He can't jump as high, most likely because of his stubby little feet, and that's about it. Every level ends with a boss battle, with most of them being Birdo. I feel like time is repeating over and over again in an endless cycle that just never ends. Every world is the same damn thing. Every world is the same damn thing. Platforming, underground, key. Platforming, underground, key. It's just the same damn thing every time I play the game.
And I'm mad!
Doesn't this guy look familiar? Wart, otherwise known as Mamu, first appeared in this game, to then appear in The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, alongside a bunch of other Mario characters for some reason. After you finally defeat Wart, you save Subcon or whatever the plot of this game is. Who cares about what the plot of this game is? It really doesn't matter, because then it's revealed that the whole game was just a dream.
You've got to be kidding me. Was it all a dream? Well, at least I don't have to play Super Mario Bros. 2 now. So thank you, Nintendo, for finally making me talk about this game so I can play Super Mario Land. Hi, I'm Charlie, I'm back, and I'm portable now. And in black and white.
Super Mario Land.
We're making sure the audio levels are correct this time.
There's only 4 worlds in this game, making it the shortest Mario game ever. The game was purely created to sell the Game Boy and have it as the game that comes with the system. They wanted this game to be different from the console counterparts. This can't be the same as main Mario. Every time a franchise went from being on console to portable, the portable one was always some sort of spin-off. It was never a part of the mainline series. Look at Secret Agent Clank. Do you think that's a mainline Ratchet and Clank? Well, you're wrong. And Super Mario Land was really the first time this ever happened. This isn't Super Mario Bros. 4, or 3, depending on where you live. This is Super Mario Land. That's a different thing, goddammit. Tatanga? That's a little alien in a spaceship that's a little annoying little brat man who stole Daisy, and is in Super Mario Bros. And Friends When I Grow Up for MS-DOS.
My favorite Nintendo console.
And at the end, oh, look who it is! Oh, what? Instead of Daisy, it's
Daisy.
Yeah, instead of the boss being fake, it's the person at the end. I guess toads don't exist in Sarasa Land, so instead they replace them with these fake
Daisy
things. Yeah, for some reason, this game has 2 shooter levels. Instead of traditional platforming, you're in a submarine shooting stuff at other things. It's really strange, to be honest, and I don't really know if it fits, but it works. And I think that's what Super Mario Land is. These are the games where Nintendo experimented. I've seen a lot of people compare Super Mario Bros. Wonder to Super Mario Land, and you know what? I see it. That's exactly what Wonder feels like. The next game in the Land series. I mean, hell, Super Mario Land 3 was so experimental that they gave Wario the title role. I despise this level. This is the only underground level, and the platforming just sucks so much. From giant gaps, to the annoying spiders, to the annoying way you control Mario in this game. This level just really sucks so much. World 3-3 is another empty level with a little cave at the end. Oh, how fun! That's exactly what I wanted, an empty level with a cave at the end. Great!
I don't know if you can tell, but I don't like this game. I've spent years trying to beat this game. I first got it on the 3DS Virtual Console in 2011, and only now have I actually completed the game. I can finally say that I hate this game with a burning passion. It sucks. There's nothing good about it. It's impressive that they managed to put a Mario game on the Game Boy, but when you compare it to Super Mario Land 2, what the hell is this game? Why would you do this to me, Nintendo? Why would Nintendo do this to me? Goddamn, Deja Vu was a bitch. Hi, I'm Charlie, I'm back, and thank you for watching this demonstration of the video games demo discussion. What the f*** was that?
Some of the earliest consoles, such as the NES and the SNES, needed to be explained on what they do and how they work, leading to video game kiosks in all stores all over the globe. But the only way to get these games was to make a full-on purchase at the store in order to play them at home.
Oh, you could go to Blockbuster.
But what about the smaller games? In the 1990s, video games were mostly released on consoles, but there was a whole other half of the video game industry on the PC. On the PC, we got games such as Doom, Quake, and PC ports of console games. But all of these games were made by big companies such as id Software or Nintendo. But due to PCs being some of the easiest places to code, many young game developers would create their games for the PC, with Sony releasing demos such as the Metal Gear Solid demo for the PlayStation.
No, I'm not really a Metal Gear fan, but I do have this demo. But I guess I'll finally get my first experience of Metal Gear Solid.
I bought this game thinking it was the actual Metal Gear Solid. It was not.
So why don't we try out games that I already understand, such as this PlayStation 2 demo disc that came with the PlayStation magazine that has Finding Nemo? Yeah, okay, it's a great movie. Everyone knows Pixar makes some of the best movies, especially at this point in time. But does the game live up to the hype of the movie? Short answer, no. Long answer, no!
This demo of Finding Nemo chucks you straight into the game. With no context, no nothing. This is just Finding Nemo. It took me a while to understand what was going on in this game. They had to not die, stuff like that, but eventually you end up with the school of fish, looking up at the guy from the movie. This game kinda follows the movie, but it's just so awkward. There's no other way to describe it. Of course, it's not terrible, but this demo is not making me want to play the game whatsoever.
Can you tell I don't like this game?
Such as this random one I found for $2 somewhere. No, I have nowhere to play these games. My computer doesn't have a disk drive. But who cares? PC demos were also distributed digitally, with one of the biggest places to have demos being Steam. Steam is always full of random computer demos, such as the Half-Life 2 demo. I love the Half-Life universe, I always have, and playing this demo was my very first introduction into the Half-Life side of the universe. I was always more of a Portal guy, so I never really tried out Half-Life when I was younger, but seeing this demo available on Steam really helped me see what the other side of the Half-Life universe was, and what games that were out there to play. Many projects don't break the fourth wall that well, with most of the jokes in projects that do break the fourth wall being pretty simple.
Hey all, Scott here.
But the Stanley Parable manages to mix in an incredible story throughout the entire game using this very simple tool in storytelling, creating what I would consider to be one of the best games ever created. So what did the demo do? The demo introduces us to the narrator, which introduces us to being able to play multiple choices, with the entire plot of the demo being that there is no demo.
Do you think modern game demos have lived up to the hype of the Stanley Parable demonstration? Nope!
I mean, come on, you can't make Sonic Boom look good.
So where do we go from here? What the f was that? Hi, I'm Charlie, I'm back, and Wii Sports has always made me want to play real sports. I think I'll stick to the Wii.
Mii's came from an idea for the Famicom all the way back in the 80s, where Shigeru Miyamoto wanted to create a game where someone who was playing the Famicom could draw a face onto an empty avatar, having themselves inside the game.
That's me!
But the idea was eventually cancelled because the Famicom could not do something this complicated. I mean, look at the other games that came out for the Famicom. Do you really think it's able to do something like this? It eventually became the Miis we know today, and were introduced into every single Wii series game.
Except for Wii Chess!
Wii Sports has a collection of 5 sports that I just adore, with the first one on the list being tennis. Tennis is a very simple sport to figure out. There's only a few rules.
You can do a forehand, a backhand, the scores go 15.
Wii Sports Tennis is a fun one. It's very responsive, and it can actually help you when you play real tennis. And it's a fun way to play the game. You play as your Mii, but you can actually put your player wherever you want. Which means, yes, you can make it so you're playing against yourself alongside yourself and yourself. Quite fun, I know, but you're not really going anywhere. The main part of this game is to fight against the NPCs, like Matt. Everyone knows the Matt Mii. He'll appear later though, don't worry. Matt is the greatest Mii ever. I've always had my fun with tennis, but because there's so many damn tennis games available on Nintendo consoles, you kinda get sick of playing it here in Australia. So what's something that's unique?
Otherwise it's a fault or whatever, and there's faults and stuff, and oh my god, this is so confusing.
There was no way to get a hard drive, download the homebrew channel, download another one of those hard drive apps that let you play Wii games and load a ROM of Mario Super Sluggers onto the Wii and play it on an Australian Wii, was there? Wii Sports Bowling. This is the best game in Wii Sports by far. Bowling is pretty simple. It's the same way it works in any other game, but this game is the best way to play it. Bowling returns in Wii Sports Resort, Wii Sports Club, and Nintendo Switch Sports, becoming the most returning game besides from golf, which somehow also appeared in every single game in the Wii Sports series for no reason. But bowling is the best out of all of them.
off, Luigi! I just love Wii Sports so goddamn much that I bought a second copy! What the f- Hi, I'm Charlie and back, and I'm feeling 64 today. Mario Kart 64!
This game is actually the Grand Prix of the world instead of you playing Mario Kart 64 on the Nintendo 64 in the comfort of your own home, contemplating what life really is. Moo Moo Farm. Toad's Turnpike takes you up and down hills on a busy road in the shape of a figure eight. There's trucks, cars, and more, taking the singular level obstacle that was the train in Calamari Desert and timesing it by 10. Frappe Snowland. This track is the first snow level in Mario Kart. There are so many snow levels throughout Mario Kart, but I'd have to say that this is one of the better ones. However, this game just has a much better snow track than this one we haven't even touched on yet. This track is alright, yeah, but some of the future tracks are just so much better. Choco Mountain is pretty boring. A lot of this track is just brown. It has a bunch of caves, a bunch of hills, but basing an entire level about having chocolate mountains, it's pretty boring all things considered. I do like the actual layout of the track itself. It's a lot more unique than some of the other tracks throughout this game. But man, I really wish this cup would have some more interesting tracks. And the final track, Mario Raceway, is exactly the same. Mario Raceway is pretty much identical to what Luigi Raceway was, but replaces Luigi with Mario. A much more interesting track that has this type of style is followed up in the next cup. Mario Kart 64 was the Nintendo 64's attempt at Mario Kart, which at this point in time had only been attempted on the SNES with Super Mario Kart.
But this game spawned knockoff after knockoff, causing almost every franchise to have some sort of racing game. Like, what the f*** is this? Did these games destroy the legacy that Super Mario Kart had set up?
Mario, Luigi, and Bowser. And in this alpha, Luigi is just a retextured Mario.
We're really not beating the Green Mario allegations, are we, Luigi?
But this game has something very interesting that's not actually found in the original version of the game. Hover mode. Yes, in the early stages of Super Mario Kart's development, both normal karts and hover cars were available to race as. It's a pretty interesting way of playing the game, but it really doesn't add that much. Where Mario and Luigi shoot either red balls or coins at each other, depending on what screen you're looking at is depending on if it's a red ball or a coin. No idea why, it's most likely a debug thing.
Finally! Shooting in a Mario game!
And there's also an editing track mode. Now that's cool. It's kinda like Mario Maker if it was for Mario Kart. Of course, it's very basic, but it's still very interesting to see what it would have looked like for Mario Kart in the 90s. Should have kept it in if you ask me.
Finally! Something interesting.
So, I'll be brief.
I won't talk about it, I swear!
These battle modes include Gate Race and Whack-A-Mole. The Cutting Room floor doesn't know much about either of these, so there isn't really that much to tell you.
Sorry!
Mario Kart 64 also released during the boom of mascot kart races and other racing games. We had games such as Sonic Drift 1 and 2, Sonic R, Diddy Kong Racing, Atari Kart, and more.
No one played Atari Kart.
Only Nintendo would get people to keep coming back to Mario Kart 8 after it technically released in 2014 on the Wii U by adding double the amount of courses that were in Mario Kart 8 plus the original DLC with the Booster Course Pass. Sega provided the discs, being Dreamcast discs, Nintendo provided the GameCube, and Namco provided the games. A perfect three-way.
Kinky!
Other classic Nintendo 64 racing games were Wave Race 64, a sequel to a Game Boy game, and Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, a movie tie-in game which we can talk about at a later date.
Maybe then. Hi, I'm Charlie and back, and I just watched The Lion King. But I want more! I wish I could experience the world of this movie at home. How can I do this?
Now if we just look at the gameplay, what happened? E.T., alongside a few other Atari games, caused the infamous video game crash of 1983. But somehow this didn't prove that movie tie-in games were a bad idea. Once the NES came out, more and more movie games came out, like Back to the Future, Batman, Home Alone, The Goonies, with a lot of these games being developed and released by a company known as LJN.
What a rainbow.
Star Wars Episode 1 Racer is widely considered to be an incredible video game. It's one of the Nintendo 64's many racing games alongside Mario Kart 64 and Diddy Kong Racing. But this game was something different. Star Wars was beginning its new series of movies, the prequel trilogy, and with these movies, the Star Wars brand became bigger and bigger, to the point where the Nintendo 64 had a Stormtrooper as one of the 4 main Nintendo characters alongside Mario, Bowser, and Fulgore from Killer Instinct. An interesting foursome.
Kinky.
Pretty much every single Pixar release got a game. Cars, Ratatouille,
Finding Nemo. No!
and all of these games were published by THQ. THQ was the place to go for releasing licensed kids games, mainly working on a lot of SpongeBob games, but they also released a lot of Pixar games, as I said. They worked with Disney, Nickelodeon, DreamWorks, and more, having a holdover on the kids movie game market just all the time. But they didn't start in this era. Their roots begin all the way in 1991 with the release of Fox's Peter Pan and the Pirates: The Revenge of Captain Hook, but the first interesting one was the NES release of Home Alone. THQ was merely a publishing company most of the time, with Home Alone being no exception. This Home Alone game was actually developed by Bethesda.
I'm not kidding.
It's kind of insane looking at the companies that developed half of these games. The Monsters Inc. Game Boy Color game was developed by Vicarious Visions, the guys who went on to make Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, and then being bought by Blizzard and becoming Blizzard Albany and creating Diablo 4 alongside Blizzard Team 3. They were also the same company that made the portable versions of the Skylanders games and then made Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. With this LEGO game, I decided to start the fun game called the Chris Pratt Speedrun. For LEGO the LEGO Movie video game, it takes until the second mission in the game for you to reach Chris Pratt. LEGO Jurassic World came out tying into the 2015 film Jurassic World, and it also features Chris Pratt. This game takes a more unique approach, telling the story of every single Jurassic Park and World movie that was out at the time, making 4 mini-games in one full game. It takes until the choice between what game you want to play to unlock Chris Pratt in this one, with you having to complete the first mission that ties into Jurassic Park before you can choose either Jurassic Park or Jurassic World.
Now we get games like Marvel's Spider-Man and more, that are original stories that take these IPs that already exist and create something original. What are you looking at? Because why not? Why do you care?
Nintendo games never go down in price.
You're just gonna come out and say that?
You want a Nintendo published game?
Sure.
Well, let's take a look at the Nintendo Switch's premier 3D Mario game, Super Mario Odyssey. A technical marvel for Nintendo standards. An incredible game all about exploring, releasing in October 2017 for $79.95. What's the price now? God damn. So we have them selling Mario Party 4 for $125 and Mario Party 5 for $100.
I wonder what makes Mario Party 4 so different from Mario Party 5.
Look, I like playing games on PC as much as the next guy, but does Microsoft really think I'm gonna play Disneyland Adventures on the PC? I mean, it's cool we have almost all of the Fallout games. It's quite impressive, actually. And almost every Halo game, except for 5. It's probably a good deal if you're interested in these games. But does Solitaire really count as being a part of Xbox Game Pass? The Epic Game Store. Look, I know the Epic Game Store is, well, the Epic Game Store, but if you're looking for a good gaming deal, you should really check this store every once in a while. The Epic Game Store is always giving away free games. Look, not all of them are that great, but from Epic Games I've gotten some great games like the Batman Arkham games, Grand Theft Auto 5, multiple Assassin's Creed games, Among Us, Alan Wake, all 3 BioShock games, Borderlands 3, XCOM 2, the new Tomb Raider trilogy, Cave Story Plus, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, and Football Manager 2020. Oh, thank God. Cave Story Secret Santa is a free spin-off to Cave Story that's actually insanely fun. I haven't actually played the original Cave Story at all, and I know that there's a lot of drama and very serious stuff going on with the publisher of the game and the original creator of the original game when it came out in 2004. But Cave Story Secret Santa is actually, alright. Look, the game isn't about Christmas whatsoever. It's about Roxxon and some other Marvel villains as Peter Parker goes on holiday, leaving Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man, to look over New York. So I think this is a bit of a Die Hard situation.
You want me to what?
Die Hard is a movie and a game for the PS1 that takes place on Christmas. It may share a lot of themes with Christmas, but it's not in the same vein of being a Christmas movie that Elf or the Polar Express is. But in both cases, with Die Hard and Elf, they both have some sort of relation to Christmas.
That's not me arguing either side of the debate. For the record, ever mess with Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong Country 3 Dixie Kong's Double Trouble is the third Donkey Kong Country game, and the second one to not feature Donkey Kong as a playable character. Christmas has always been about one jolly man, one by the name of Santa Claus. He lives at the North Pole and delivers presents in the night. Luckily, Google teamed up with the North American Aerospace Defense Command, otherwise known as NORAD, in order to place a tracker on Santa's sleigh and track his every move, from giving us live updates on wherever he currently is, with some pictures taken at those locations. It's a great way to make sure you're in bed in time for Santa to come and deliver your presents.
Otherwise you'll turn into a pencil. Hi, I'm Charlie, I'm back, and I own way too many video games. I've always wanted a special place to store all these games. Somewhere to feel it's my special place for gaming. And now I have it.
The concept of a game room comes from the idea of a man cave. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those. Having weird beer signs everywhere, having a pool table you never use, it's always something I saw my friends have. Some were basements, some were in a garage. Granted, the ones in garages were always covered in AFL posters and sports related stuff, and I don't know if you've seen me, but I don't really like that type of stuff that much. I used to watch YouTube videos that would tour through game rooms, and just collections as a whole. I used to watch this guy called Sonic Toast, who went through his Mario Toys collection. No, I never asked why collection was in the title twice, and I always wanted to have a collection like that, and be greeted as a citizen every time I watch a video. Collecting has been in my blood forever, whether it be Mario toys, Toy Story toys, video games, pop figures, movies, TV shows, and more, and slowly over my years of existing, I've started to get every single thing I've ever wanted. Whether that be every movie and show in the MCU, buying the 2010's Mario series of toys, buying a Luigi toy made by Marvel, yes that Marvel, buying a big Luigi, and more. See? I own Resident Evil 0. I love Resident Evil.
Yeah, this isn't Metroid. What the f***? I'm taking suggestions on what I should add to this room, so then we can all sit down and play Mario Party. But now I just need friends.
After playing through a lot of the games in my backlog, such as Persona 5 Strikers, I realized that I probably like Persona and now need all the games. Playing Metroid Prime? Maybe I should get Metroid for the Famicom Disk System.
Hi, I'm Charlie, I'm back, and I have a crippling problem with buying video games that I'll never play.
When you buy a bunch of video games, you're bound to buy games that you'll never play. You're a video game collector, goddammit. You like spending lots of money on games that sit on your shelf all day long. It's the beauty of buying video games. Metroid Prime Remastered. What else can be said?
A lot can be said actually.
It took me well over a year to try Pikmin for the first time after buying all 4 main entries, and you know what? I enjoyed them. Granted, I'm still going through the first one, but it shows me that anything can be great. I just need to try it. So let's pop in Metroid Prime Remastered and check it out.
Metroid Prime is actually a GameCube game, so I'm not imagining the Switch version to look that good. See, last time they ported a GameCube game to the Switch was Super Mario Sunshine, where all they did is they upgraded the visuals just a tiny bit and made it in widescreen. So there's no chance that Metroid Prime can look that good. Holy shit!
Donkey Kong Country. Oh crap. Wait. Banjo-Kazooie. Oh, wait, is that still not it? Oh, Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. This game is inspired by many of Rare's Nintendo games, being the sequel to the older game Yooka-Laylee, which is also on my backlog.
But I only have it digitally, so it doesn't count.
Now, of course, there are other games that are on my backlog that I've never played, such as Red Dead Redemption and Halo 3, and maybe I'll get to them one day, but I think for now, I'll just stick to my classic Nintendo games that I never played. It's just what I enjoy more, man.
Sometimes video games are just fun to buy. Like, that's why I own, like, Real World Golf. But you never really expect to play half of these things. Like, am I ever gonna play Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, but specifically an American version that's almost completely destroyed? No! Hi, I'm Charlie, I'm back, and I just got finished talking about my backlog. Hello?
I know your location.
Who is this?
It's time for that great taste at McDonald's.
What the hell was that? Hello, it's John. I'm here, and something feels off, doesn't it?
This is a real game. This is a fake game.
Notice any difference?
Famiclone is a clone console of a Nintendo Famicom that is pretty much identical in power and in hardware to a Famicom, but it's made by some other brand or company and sold in a country that just doesn't sell Famicoms or NESs. These lead to some of the weirdest games ever created, sometimes attempting to be sequels to real games, and sometimes they're just kind of weird things.
Don't expect any logic here.
Mario 4, no, not Super Mario World, Mario 4 with Roman numerals, is a ROM hack of the NES game Armadillo. If we look at the title screen, we see an interesting sprite of Mario being used. This sprite actually originated in another bootleg game known as Dianshi Mali, otherwise known as TV Mari. This game was published by Namco Corporation. No, not that Namco, another Namco, which was also known as Fiverr Firm. Confusing? I know. The whole plot of TV Mari is that it's just a gambling game for the Famicom. You need 2 controllers to play for some reason, and it contains Mario from Mario 4. But another iconic hack for the Famicom includes this Mario, and ties everything together into a nice little bow. Super Mario 7, otherwise known as 7 Granddad, is a hack of the Flintstones NES game. Another version of this hack was known as Wario Land 7. Followed by the song becoming popular on the video game music parody channel Silver Gunner, which just has some amazing arrangements of this song. Some that I can't even put into words. It's just incredible, damn it. However, sometimes people just put too much damn work into a bootleg game for no reason at all. Super Mario World. No, not that Super Mario World, the one for the NES.
What?
Super Mario World.
I don't even know how to describe this one.
Super Mario World, no not that one, or that one, is a hack of a hack, which is somehow quite common in the bootleg industry. Super Mario World is a Sega Mega Drive, otherwise known as a Genesis game, but the game is a hack of the game known as Squirrel King. Now Squirrel King is actually not a fully released game either, and is instead a game that attempts to recreate the NES game known as Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Yes, that one. Except this game actually released on both the Mega Drive and the SNES. But of course, it wasn't real, so you wouldn't think an actual company known for bringing back some older official games from this era would release this game on an official piece of hardware thinking it was an official game, right?
You really think I'd ask the question if it was a no?
Some models of the AtGames Legends Ultimate Arcade Machine for at-home use had copies of Squirrel King available. Yes, despite the fact that these arcade machines had official Disney games on it, such as The Lion King and other popular companies' games on it like Atari and Data East, this pirated version of a Disney game was available on the device. I bet Disney's lawyers are having fun finding out that fact.
Hello? Yes? Take down the beast.
Buying fake copies of real release games can be a dangerous thing to do, as you normally can find them on sketchy websites, but you can also find them on popular websites that you would think would have much more control about what you sell on them, being Amazon and eBay. Although Amazon has a rule against selling fakes, several of them still appear on the website, with the best way to tell they're fake, especially for the Game Boy Advance games, is when they list every single GBA entry for the same price, either as a bundle or separately all on the same page. It's quite easy to get scammed, and you would think Amazon would do something about it, and you would think Nintendo's lawyers would do something.
Hello? Yes, I'll hold. And that's bootleg games. Sometimes things are just slightly off versions of things. I understand why they exist, but 9 times out of 10, they're annoying to everyone. It would be nice if Nintendo cracked down on those fake Pokemon cartridges, but those fake cartridges are kind of just the way of life now. It would also be nice if they weren't so expensive, but whatever. Hi, I'm Charlie, I'm back, and was that a bootleg version of me? So, a McDonald's character from the late 80s has my location.
Suddenly, out of the blue, He sends me a message asking to check out his game. I've had people send me their game to try out before, so I'm no stranger into checking out these types of games that people decide to send to me randomly.
Hey,
Hi.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good, thanks. You got 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Me and my friend made a new project. Can you help us to finish?
Sure.
Thanks. We need peoples who can play and give review for 9 to 10 minutes. This is my website.
I love games! This one could be interesting. It looks as if it's some sort of RPG by the name of Chroma Quest. No, not the app Chroma Quest that's currently available on the Google Play Store. Instead, it's Mac Tonight's indie game! I decided to download it because I thought it would be fun to try out a new game. Thought nothing of it. We had a password protecting the zip file, which is normally a massive red flag. But do you really think I was gonna care about that for my buddy Matt tonight? I went to install the game using the installer inside the zip file, and suddenly...
I'll say a short thing. Right now, I have access to the passwords to the Discord account, to the email account. I'll send you a picture from your Discord account and your address as proof. I just want to make a little deal.
What's the deal?
Your address, 54 Fieldham Street, City, Melbourne, Australia.
How many times do I gotta ask you, man? What's the deal? Well, at least I had enough time to talk about Super Mario Bros. Special and Wii Sports. And whatever the hell that other guy talked about.
Do you pay in crypto?
What info do you have?
Not my cookies!
Me and this Ahmet XX23 guy continued to chat until we eventually agreed on sending those Razor keys. Long ago, a group of Greek soldiers were attempting to take down the city of Troy. A giant horse was built as an offering to the goddess Athena and the town for some reason. At least that's what Oxford University said. The war had been going on for 10 years, and this horse was the final trick from the Greek soldiers to win. Troy took the horse as a peace offering and brought it into the city in order to keep. As you do. It wasn't until they went to sleep that the Greek soldiers, who were hiding inside of the giant horse, snuck out and killed the guards and opened the doors to the city. This led to the end of the war and the end of the Trojan horse. The metaphor of this story has been passed down by generations, almost like a fable. This story ended up being the basis for the name of a type of computer virus that does the same thing. I decided to concede with their threat and send them $500 worth of Razer gift card codes in order to get the information to my account back.
What's the catch?
I completely made up the codes and just typed in some random numbers.
But do you have some more money? $200? $300?
You want more?
Yeah.
I kinda used all my money on these.
Don't you have any money right now?
No.
And tomorrow, can you get some more money? $200? $300?
I could.
Okay. I'll write again tomorrow.
Okay, I actually got away with it. I can't believe it. I actually managed to get away with sending fake codes. Does this mean that I could just keep making up fake codes over and over? Am I actually gonna get my information back for free?
Question mark.
Yeah?
Are you joking with us?
What?
All codes are wrong.
They are?
Yes.
Now luckily I had prepared for this situation. See, these Razer gift cards actually had an issue about 6 months ago that the legit codes wouldn't work. So maybe if I just send them this Reddit article...
Bro, 6 months ago. Skull emoji. Send me proof that you bought it.
I don't know what to tell you.
Send me proof that you bought it.
Why?
Send me proof that you bought it. 5 min left.
5 minutes? Oh god, I need to open Photoshop quickly. Quick, quick!
Okay, fine. I'll buy them for you. Give me a day.
No.
Why not?
No extra days. I can only give hours.
Okay, give me hours.
3 hours?
Sure.
Your time's up, buddy.
You said 3 hours. It's been 2.
Hi, I'm Charlie, I'm back. And make sure to turn on 2-factor authentication. And also don't click on any weirdo links. What does that mean? Whoops.
Wario Stadium is the start of the stadium tracks that appear throughout Mario Kart. Hell, this isn't even the only track in Mario Kart that's called Wario Stadium. This is the one I was talking about. Remember when I said that other snow level was pretty meh and there was a much better one?
No, I was busy dreaming about Super Mario Bros. 2.
God damn, I do that a lot. Well, this is that better level. Bowser's Castle, not to be confused with Bowser Castle 1, Bowser Castle 2, Bowser Castle 3, Bowser's Castle 1, Bowser's Castle 2, Bowser's Castle 3, Bowser's Castle 4, Bowser's Castle, Bowser's Castle, Bowser's Castle, Bowser's Castle, Bowser's Castle, RMX Bowser's Castle 1, Bowser's Castle, Bowser's Castle, or Bowser's Castle is a level that takes place in Bowser's Castle.
Oh really? How could you have figured that one out?
If we wanted it to be more interesting, we would have gone to Bowser's Castle, not Bowser's Castle. I know you've just played through almost this whole game, so this track is just making you feel like it was all worth it. It may have been hard, you may have not been able to truly experience everything this game had to offer, but now you have a stroll down this magical rainbow road.
And that's really what it feels like for the first lap. Anyway, if I ever want to go back to classic Mario Kart, I'll just stick to Mario Kart Double Dash. Hello? I have my snow appointment now. Luigi, what are you doing here? Of course you'd put the phone there. Hello?
Is this Charlie?
Yeah?
You came for your snow appointment?
Yeah.
Alright, give me a day.
Okay. Well, now I just gotta wait for the snow. Luigi, do you know what I can talk about? I've been a bit bored recently.
Sometimes items in snow levels have different properties to items in the overworld levels.
I know you're questioning what I just meant.
The snow just has this magical feeling that no other type of level can accomplish.
What? Is the jungle magical or something? Good night, Luigi. Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm back, world. That's what I say when I wake up. Hello?
The snow is ready.
Oh yeah, it doesn't snow here.
Let's see what it can do. Well, that's exciting. Look, all the games on the website are not going to be technical marvels. They're just very basic games created in order to promote Christmas to the masses. If you're seriously looking for a good Christmas video game, you're not going to find one built into Google.
But I think it's time to finally go to sleep so we can wait for Santa. I wonder what I'll get for Christmas.
But once you start buying random crap like Hell's Kitchen for the Nintendo Wii, then you start to realize you're never gonna play this junk.
Until now. Oh my god. But luckily, I don't have any games that I've never played digitally, so I should be fine. Oh god. You really had to put the phone there, didn't you, Luigi? Let's see what the most popular game to play is right now. Oh, you've gotta be kidding me! Hi, I'm Charlie, I'm back, and I've been forced to spread Christmas cheer by playing Hell's Kitchen for the Nintendo Wii. I touched this game once when I was talking about my backlog, and I hated it so much that I put it over here so it wouldn't take up my normal wall of games. I never want to have to play this game, because I'm a hater, not a chef. This game just annoys me to no end. Why the hell would I ever play this game?
The show is also narrated by Jason Thompson and Roger Craig Smith. You know, Sonic the Hedgehog.
He only did for 2 seasons.
The game released alongside Season 4 and released to, well, mixed reviews.
Wow, who could have seen that coming?
He swears.
In a PG game? 4.3 million views. I'm gonna make at least $300 from that. Hey dude, I got the money.
Awesome. Snow should appear soon.
I must ask, why would you need that much money in order for it to appear?
It's how I make my money. That's how I make my money.
That's the guy that hacked me. You know, the guy that was Mac Tonight that isn't actually Mac Tonight and hacked into Mac Tonight, and his name was like Ahmed XX23, and there was this other guy called SolarV27 or something like that. I know who this guy is. I can just message him on Discord and confront him. Oh, he deleted his account. What are you talking about? And who the hell is... Oh man, what was that for? Oh, you wanna play GameCube? I got Mario Party 5. You've got 5 seconds to run. Me? It's me. John. Remember? You shot me. Who? Right before you talked about when you got hacked. What? I was busy talking about bootleg games, and then you came in and just ruined the party. Oh, right. So what are you doing here? Well, ever since you did that, I went back in time, and I messed with your life almost every single week. Every Friday except that one Sunday, I had you talking about some game, whether it be Mario Kart 64, Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, whatever it was. And secretly behind your back, I was hacking you. Oh, so you're the hacker? Yep. I just wanted to be you! Talking about video games every week, from Wii Sports to demos. I thought just once, I could be someone who talks about video games. You don't need to hack me to talk about video games. Anyone can talk about video games. Just sit at some desk, put some video games behind you, and talk about video games. Or hell, do whatever you want. If you want, I can take you back in time so you can celebrate. Sure! I'll need to sacrifice the game I'm holding though. All the secret recipes that are built into this game are the reason I can time travel in the first place. Right. Okay. Well, I guess I'll never be able to talk about Hell's Kitchen for the Nintendo Wii ever again. I can finally spend Christmas Day with the people I love. I wonder what's in there. Great.